So I posted a video the other day just talking about how I feel like men don't really approach women that much in public anymore, and they just approach them online mostly. And I got a lot of interesting comments about that. But one that just kept popping up was, well, if that's what you want, why don't you just approach the men yourself? And I think this is a fair question because I feel like men think women have a distinct advantage if they approach first, which, I mean, I don't really understand the thought process behind that, but that's fine. Y'all feel how you feel. But the reason in general, not never, but just in general, I don't approach men is because I'm looking for something very specific. If I date a guy and it works out well, he's going to become the leader of my household. Right now, I'm the leader of my household, and I would like to relinquish that power to a man. He's not going to have to do everything. You know, it's a partnership, but at the end of the day, he will be the leader. And in my opinion, a good leader and head of household is assertive, decisive, confident, things of that nature. And so if I'm out and I see you and you see me and I see you seeing me, but you don't come over to me, I'm going to assume a couple things. The first thing I'm going to assume is that you just aren't that interested and that's why you didn't come over. In which case, you know, why would I approach you if I already feel like you're probably not that interested? But the other thing that I'm going to assume is that if you are interested, you're not assertive enough to go after something you might want, or you're not confident enough to think that you're going to get it. And so if you're already kind of showing me that you're lacking the qualities that I'm looking for in a good leader and head of household, it's not going to entice me to want to come talk to you. And I don't feel the need to prove it to myself because you're proving it to me by sitting over there looking at me and not coming to say hi.
Interesting take from a woman. Now, I guess the circumstances that she's speaking on is we're sitting there staring at each other, right? Which is, to me, is insane. If you're just looking at each other and you're just like, well, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. Somebody needs to say something unless we're just going to be admiring each other from afar. I always say I have a 2-second rule. I talked about this over the years. If I'm not going to talk to you, I'm not looking at you past 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Same thing applies for men. You know, why men... And for me personally, you have more men looking at you. I don't know if a lot of you guys are like that. A lot of dudes will stare you down. It's just like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So I just look at a dude, what's up, and keep it moving. But you got dudes that be like, but women don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Again, when she's saying, I'm looking for certain leadership qualities for a man to lead, but I'm not going to say anything to him first, which really... If you look at it, I don't think that has anything to do with it, especially if you like someone or if you're interested in someone, you know, because women don't behave the same way with women. Now, you could say, well, JR, she's referring to the fact of someone that she would want to date or do things like that. Women now just think it's beyond them to speak to you, to even do anything. So you just have to take the complete lead and go from there. But I always say to you fellas, I understand you guys I'm going to catch a felony. She's going to bite my head off. Things like that. You're not a mind reader. And I say this to any of you guys, and I have to remind myself, you're not a mind reader. And of course, it's easier to approach a woman online. I don't even call it approach, but send a message or DM as opposed to in person. It's like that's slowly dying out, man. But I always say, man, if you like somebody, just say, what's up? Hey, how you doing? What's your name? Worst thing they could do is just ignore you. But baby, my question for you ladies is, what if no dude ever approached you? What would you do? JR, that's impossible. It might be. But what if you're one of these women? You leave it up to most women like her. They never get approached, right? So what if nobody ever approached? I guess I'll be alone. Right. Let's get on to this next video she did. Let's go.
So I saw this video the other day and I thought it was so funny because I related to it so much. There was a woman and she was out with her friends and she was like, someone better hit on me tonight. I'm sick of this. And I was like, ma'am, I feel you so much. Because I never get hit on in person. Like I get a lot of messages online and stuff and I'm single, so I'm on dating apps. But just like at the grocery store, men don't just come over and say hi. Like, how are you doing? They don't do that anymore. And so when I do meet men and I ask them, I tell them like, you know, I don't usually get hit on in person. Would you, if you saw me at the store or wherever, would you come talk to me? And sometimes they say yes, but a lot of times they say no. And it's usually for one of two reasons. The first reason is because they assume I'm not single, which, like, sir, I'm walking around here with a ring-free hand. Like, why are you over there assuming things? But the second reason is because they said that women find it too aggressive and they don't like it. And I'm like, who are these women? Like, all the women I know, the single women, they appreciate it when a man is respectful and they come over and say, hi, you look nice or whatever. Because if we're out and we're dressed up, we look nice because we made an effort. And we appreciate it when men, or hell, even women, you know, a fellow female comes and tells you you look nice. So I'm trying to encourage you, because I feel like men are scared of rejection. But let me tell you, the world is full of rejection. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try. And I will say that most women, they're not going to growl at you for telling them that they look nice or saying hi. I'm not saying none of them will, but let's be honest. If you say hi, you look nice to a woman, she growls at you, she did you a favor by showing you the crazy up front. Because that could be 6 months down the line and then you see that crazy monster. I'm just saying. I mean, she could just be having a bad day, but, you know, if she's going to be rude about you telling her she looks nice, she's probably not a nice person. So just leave that one be. But for the rest of us, we appreciate a respectful man coming over and saying hi. And if we show signs of not being interested, no sweat off your nose. Keep it moving. It's not that serious. But on the other hand, you guys could really connect and be on a date next week. So I say all that to say this. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So if you see that beautiful woman, go take your shot. Go take it. She's over there waiting for you to tell her how beautiful she looks tonight, okay? Go forth, be bold, and flirt. And come say hi. Say hi, wave, smile. It all works.
And it's that easy, fellas. But I'm going to say this. Many fellas have been rejected and they're just tired at this point. And many guys, there's videos of them saying, I let women approach me, which is very rare. Women don't hardly do that. And this is coming from someone who's conventionally attractive, right? For lack of a better term. And I don't get approached by women. Women just don't do that. Now, when she gets into the whole like complimenting and go up and compliment her, women never do that to guys, hardly, unless she's already in sales or something like that. She's going to compliment you because she's trying to sell a product or make it more likely you'll buy the product or whatever have you. But women typically aren't going to come up and compliment you. So me personally, I don't see anything wrong with it. A lot of you guys are like, I don't want to give a woman further validation. She may have a boyfriend, or she may just be getting off on it and things like that. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. You never know what it could lead to. Now, taking a woman on a date and all that different stuff, you obviously coming up with money and whatnot. But guys are just tired, man. Guys are just tired. I got to put in my bid. Dudes now, and women want to call it sassy, want to know a woman's interested in them. And to cover both of her videos, yes, you talk to a lot of women, they'll be like, the guy that I've had some of the most successful relationships, I approached him. And the thing is that you're certain that a woman is into you. When you approach a woman, you don't know what the heck she got going on. And she is right. Some women will bite your head off and say different things like that. Dudes don't want to go through that process. But that is the type of woman that isn't really a good woman. And I will say most women aren't going to bite your head off. Some of them will just take the compliment and just be like, okay, thank you, and just keep it moving. Because they just don't care. You know what I mean? They say this stuff, but they really don't care. They're not just going to be like, oh, wow, thank you. What's your name? The majority of women, a lot of times, they aren't going to do that. And that's how you know when a woman really likes you, is when she asks you your name and she asks you questions. Most women, they'll just sit there and let you question them like they're a star. But guys, let me know what you think. Comment below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Much blessings and abundance. Stick around for the next videos. It's going to pop up on the screen below. That's where I'm going to see you guys at. It's your favorite everything. This is Wisdom. I'm the best. Let's run it up to 1 million. Quit playing with me. Peace.